Hello?
Hey, I've seen that before.
What?
What?
I didn't know about this.
Did we make a movie?
Maybe.
We might have. So this weekend we are premiering at Six Flags headquarters, which is located right by Six Flags over Texas, which, if you didn't already know, is the original Six Flags. And check it out.
Sorry, we're like totally nerding out.
So one cool thing that was pointed out to us is all of the different rooms are named after different Six Flags rides. So we got King Ka here. We got Goliath over here. So I guess if you have to meet someone, you just say, hey, meet me at insert ride name here. Is that right? Yeah. Love that. So now that the Texas Rangers have a new baseball stadium, Six Flags headquarters have actually taken over the old one. So when you look outside their break room, it's literally a stadium. Right now they're using it for a high school football game. That is the coolest view to have when you're on break. Oh my gosh. I already smell popcorn. Oh, yay!
Look at this.
Check it out. We have the theater set for 220 people tonight. It's actually bigger than the RMC premiere out in Idaho, which already felt big, so this is about to be absolutely crazy.
Let's see what happens.
Our first guests are beginning to arrive. Are you guys excited? Yeah! Yay! Aw. All right, so honey, tell me where you came from.
Delaware, Michigan, Chicago,
Long Beach, Texas. I flew in from Nashville for this event.
Cleveland, Ohio,
Eastern Tennessee, drove in.
We got Tim Baldwin who's in the dock.
Hello.
Are you excited to see yourself on the big screen?
Well, you know, kind of. He gave me a preview back in January, and I loved how it was turning out, and I just know it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, yay! Okay, what about you, Jake?
Nope.
You, okay.
You guys ready to see a movie?
When Taylor and I started kind of communicating about this a couple months ago, saying, we've got Lone Star Coaster-a-thon this weekend. This would be a great park. This would be fun to do a Southern premiere. And first we had to get the park to buy off on that. And they did, but then they realized we don't have any venues. They're all haunted houses, or there are shows in them. So that threw a wrench in it. But I have to give credit to where credit is due. Brad Malone, our PR Prince Charming at Six Flags Over Texas, did not give up, and he arranged this showing for tonight. So, Brad Malone, we thank you for your efforts. Obviously, the man of the evening is Taylor Bybee from Coaster Studios right here on the front row. And all the way from Idaho, we have Jake Kilcutt, the COO of Rocky Mountain Construction. And without any further ado, this is how we roll.
What do you guys think?
First question, when will this become public to everyone to watch online?
Yeah, sure. So This Is How We Roll is available for rent or purchase on October 8th and is available on Vimeo. If you liked what you saw, we'd really appreciate your support and going out and getting yourself a copy so you can watch it whenever you want.
All right, you have some of your team here tonight. Would you like to introduce them?
I do, yeah. So first of all, Scott and Sarah right here up front. Can you guys stand up? These two, the three of us went around the country filming, and it was absolutely a combined effort. There's no way this ever would have been possible without them two by my side. But it's also awesome. We have several people here who were actually in the documentary, including Jake, Tim. We also have Marcus Lashak over here, who is awesome, and a couple of our friends who are up here. David's back here. Dan was in it briefly, and so there were a lot of people that came together to make this project happen. So it was really cool to bring everyone together for this.
After seeing the film, it seems like there must have been some incredible stories in getting this done. Do you have any favorites?
And Sarah literally broke into Fred Grubb's house at one point because we left camera equipment in there and they weren't supposed to lock the doors, so she used a credit card to break into his house. It's okay, it was fine. Yeah, don't do that.
Do they know that?
Oh yeah, he knows. Yeah. No, he doesn't know? All right, well now he knows.
Jake, the new Texas Giant is pretty much across the street, more or less. It's for us locals here, and it was wonderful to see our home park really in the film featured so well. It's been 10 years. I can't believe that. How has the 10 years changed?
Well, when you're in it, you don't really notice it. You're just hanging on for the ride. We're constantly just moving, trying to hit the next promise that Fred made to a park somewhere. So keeps us pretty busy. But yeah, I mean, I was at the Idaho showing of this, and then watching it again. It's awesome to sit back and kind of actually sit back and watch what we've been able to accomplish together, and see all these people talking about some of the creations that I've been a part of. It's awesome. It's so great to see people come want to see some of the work that we've done. People smiling as they're riding our rides. I mean, that really just makes it all worthwhile.
The obvious question is, what was your inspiration to create this documentary?
Yeah, so I mean, I had the idea for this thing probably going back to maybe October or September 2019. And actually, the original idea was to do just a piece on Alan Schilke alone, because the work that he's had in the industry was so incredible. And so as we were, what?
Sorry, I got trampled on Alan Schilke's documentary.
Actually, the next piece is just a Jake Hill Cup documentary.
I'd watch that.
I wouldn't. It kind of evolved because I started talking to Amy from RMC, we realized just how incredible this story was, and what was so amazing was hearing from her about how they were originally hoping to get some sort of documentary made about RMC. They wanted their story to be told, because when we originally started this project, we didn't know half the stuff that was in this. The evolution of it is absolutely incredible. I mean, you have to sit behind a camera, you're listening to these stories, and you're like, what the heck do you mean there? So now we go and talk to someone else. This person talked about this. Can you elaborate on that? And you just get little bits and pieces here of that story. I mean, the perfect example of that is the whole sand dune sequence with Lightning Rod. I mean, you would have no idea unless you start talking to each of the different individuals who were a part of that. So it was really cool to see that all come together, and especially last week we got to actually show this at Silverwood for all of the RMC employees, and it was cool to see that hard work paying off.
Well, let's talk about that. The world premiere. We're the Southern premiere, so we're the second, but we're proud of that. The world premiere was last week. Jake, what were your reflections on that?
It was so fun to see all this come together, being on the backside of it, seeing little previews of it every now and then, thinking about things that I'm going to regret that I said in front of a camera. So, it was great to be able to see that with our whole team, have a lot of our guys there, because a lot of our guys haven't ridden many of our coasters because they have to travel, quite a ways to go do that, and it was just awesome to be able to bring them all in for the world premiere of the ride, and I think the documentary. I think they all appreciated it a lot.
Taylor, were you nervous?
I was, but I was more excited, I think, than anything. I mean, when you're working on a project like this for so long, you get so used to it. I mean, Sarah will tell you, I know this entire thing word for word, every single frame of it, and so I get so used to it that it's kind of weird showing it to people for the first time, because I forget that this is their first time hearing what all of these amazing people have to say, and so it was pretty cool to hear those reactions, and everyone was super positive about it, which was a great feeling.
I love how you just masterfully matched the music to what was going on. So you did a fantastic job on that.
I have the composer to thank for that. It was a completely original score, and he did an incredible job. His name is John Pasternak, and working with him was absolutely stunning. I mean, some of his music tracks have been stuck in our heads for months and months and months. I mean, he came up with an original theme for each of the big roller coasters that we feature to try and represent either the theme of that ride or the scale of it.
That's
and it was amazing. So, like an example, I love Outlaw Run's track, very Western, and Lightning Rod's very 50s themed.
All right, Jake, there's been a lot of innovation since Giant. Now RMC's pretty much a household name for people like us, people in the industry. What has changed for the company in the last decade?
Well, we've gotten bigger. We started off pretty small. We ballooned up to about 150 employees before the pandemic hit. We're looking to get back to that number or bigger. We want to keep putting rides out there. I mean, I counted it up the other day, and counting a lot of projects that we've done with other manufacturers, I think we're somewhere between 40 and 50 projects, and I want to grow that number.
Wow. Taylor, what was your first RMC to ride?
Mine was actually New Texas Giant, believe it or not, right here doing the first one, so that was pretty cool. Starting off as just a fan of RMC, you know, drooling over all these creations, and then going out to do one, and then wanting to hit them all, and now I'm sitting here in front of you as the guy that made a film about them. So it was a really cool, I mean, and getting to meet all of everyone from RMC, everyone there is so fantastic. Jake's all right, but everyone else is pretty great.
All right, I'm going to ask you both this same question. It's going to be easy for you probably, and not for you, because it's like the parent saying you have a favorite child.
I don't have a favorite.
You are just too quick with that. Taylor, do you have a favorite RMC?
I would have to go with Steel Vengeance, but I'm also a big fan of Hokuge in Japan. But there's a lot of, I mean, honestly, like I think my top 10 is like 5 RMCs.
Nice. All right, Jake, the most challenging project for RMC and why?
There were a lot of challenging projects. I think the Gurney was a really difficult one.
And that was a time constraint.
It was a time constraint, and there was just a ton of work to be done, and the weather in Chicago did not cooperate for us that year. We were doing some. We had never done a steel truss system before, so there were some new parts of the project that we weren't 100% sure how they were going to go, and then dealing with the weather, dealing with local municipalities, there were a lot of hurdles to overcome, and that one just, when that one opened, that felt, it was just relief.
Sigh of relief.
Relief.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay, we're going to open this up to the floor. Does anyone out there have questions? Yes.
Well, first off, I want to say that the documentary was amazing, very inspiring and interesting. My question is more for you, Jake. I'm a freshman studying mechanical engineering at LeTourneau University, and it's always been my passion and my hope and goal to be like a roller coaster engineer or work in the roller coaster industry somewhat. So do you have any recommendations for what companies like RMC or Intamin or SNS would look for, or internships that could be helpful? Or would you guys ever consider doing internships or apprenticeships?
There's several things that you can do. I mean, for one, you can't be afraid to get your hands dirty. You don't want to just be sitting behind a computer. You want to actually be a doer. You want to be tinkering with stuff, and that's a big part of RMC is the designers go out in the shop, work with the guys who are doing the welding and the machining, and work together to come up with a good collaborative solution to problems. So being able to do that, not being afraid to do whatever it takes to get in the door. Obviously, everybody wants to go in and design a roller coaster, but there's very few Alan Schilkes in the world. So you just have to make peace with the fact that you're not going to be the guy. There's a rock star, and then there's roadies. I'm a roadie, so that's
You're
kind
a
of
rock star to me, Jake.
All right, we have time for a couple more.
This is for Jake. Is there any of all the roller coasters that RMC has designed, has there been any roller coasters you look back and say, you know what, we should have done this, we should have done that?
I don't think so. I mean, I like that we have variety. If there's something that maybe we think that, hey, we could have taken an opportunity to do something here, that goes into the next project. And then the fact that the other one didn't do that is what makes it unique. I mean, the fact that everything's kind of, I said earlier, I don't have a favorite coaster, but every coaster has a different element that I'm like, that moment on that particular coaster is, that's the best of that moment that I've ever been on. So that's the way we look at it.
First off, the film was incredible, so thank you to everybody who's put your time into that. And there we go. And my question is to both of you. Can you elaborate on an event or experience that reinvigorated your passion for roller coasters in the community? If you have any fun story to share.
Ooh, that's a tough one, because I feel like I never ever lost any passion for the theme park industry. Everything that I do just continuously builds on it. I think this film is a perfect example of it. I mean, I've been to now so many of these different theme parks and done so many of the rides, but now we're going back with a purpose. We're here to do this specific filming for this thing. We're meeting the people behind it, talking to them about why this ride is the way it is, and that just makes you way more excited to get back on it, because then you gain a further appreciation for what they do. So I absolutely love this industry, and I can't wait to see what happens next.
I too have never lost my passion for this industry. However, I think when we got the opportunity to take a look at Mean Streak and we didn't know what they wanted to see at first, and we kind of went at it with a pitch that we thought they wanted to see, and they told us no, ramp it up. Like that's not something that happens very often. You know, usually you're being asked to scale things back, and you know, we're usually aiming too big, and we have to pull things back. But that opportunity was incredible.
Alas, our time has come to an end. First, a round of applause to Six Flags. For those of you who traveled from afar, I hope you have found this a worthy evening. I thought it was great fun. Thank you, gentlemen. First, RMC, a round of applause for Jake. And our man of the evening, thank you for doing this. It's incredible. I can't wait to watch it about 10 more times. A round of applause for Taylor.
Just wanted to say I love you guys very much.